I'm going to show you a second match between s0s and Special in Intel Extreme Masters PyeongChang Tournament 2018. It's the semifinals. s0s is on the left and Special is on the right. The tournament that they're playing at is Intel Extreme Masters, or IEM Season XII PyeongChang. It's one of the two tournaments. The second is IEM Season XII World Championship. IEM Season XII PyeongChang has a prize pool of $150,000. It was played in February 2018. It has legacy of the bot patch 4.1.4 BU, and you can at any point in time stop the video and read through. Here you can take a look at the prize pool and see how much money the first, second, third, fourth places made. Furthermore, here's the results. I'm going to show you this match right here. s0s versus Special, second match on NeonVioletSquare. You can further take a look at racial distribution and map statistics. As you can see, the Zerg has been a dominant race here. Through the entire tournament there were many Zerg players. You can look some of these matches up by typing AndYouLeftTheGame in YouTube search bar, and you can come up with two of these channels or one of each. If you see AndYouLeftTheGame without blank space, click on it and it will take you straight to the channel. If you end up with AndYouLeftTheGame with the blank spaces, 5 separate parts, click on it and then look at the right side, click on featured channel section, and it will take you straight to the channel. Now that we know about the channel, the tournament, let's look a bit more about the players. So the first player is s0s right here. He is Kim Yo-jin, Starcraft 2 player from South Korea. He made over $500,000 playing Starcraft 2. His legacy dates back to Wings of Liberty expansion 2011 and he won many tournaments. Many of these tournaments were giving large payouts. You can stop the video and read about this even further. Learn about his trivias, awards, achievements in premier tournaments, major tournaments, minor tournaments, premier team leagues, championships, interviews that date back to 2012. I'm sure you can find much more by googling him and take a look at his picture, see how it looks like. He's a Protoss player. His opponent is Special. Special is a Terran player. He's from Mexico and he made over $200,000 playing this game. He dates back to 2011 Wings of Liberty expansion, Heart of the Swarm expansion. You can learn about his trivias, achievements, premier tournaments, major tournaments, minor tournaments, premier tournaments, premier team leagues, and so on and so forth. Read about his interviews and watch his replays on YouTube. Now that we know about the players, the tournament that are playing it, and the YouTube channel, let's move on to the game itself. So that's the second match, Special versus s0s. Interestingly, s0s has won the game, the first game, And s0s has won the first game. After a decisive battle that taken place when Special attacked with its army. Now, interestingly enough, Special was not able to defeat s0s while fielding many tanks, which was very surprising for me. And it seems that the Protoss is very resilient against the tank fire. We'll see how this match will play out. Will Special play the same tank composition as he normally do in the first game, as he normally did in the first game? We'll have to find out. So far, everything is quite similar. s0s is harassing Special with his probe as much as he can. A super early game probe scout. With a super early game probe scout. Special, without even knowing if his opponent is gonna go for a cheese, something like 3 or 4 gateway opening with many s0s, he just opens himself a second base and moves forward. Now Special is sending his own scouting parties and found out that s0s is building himself a second base too. His SUV is building himself a building in the second base there. However, the SUV got scared off. And destroyed. For scouting purposes, it will certainly still be used there. However, the Zealot is going to easily destroy it. Now Special, surprisingly, is not I wanted to say not walling himself up, but it looks like he walled himself the reactor, and that's the wall up that he chooses to go for. Now if the reactor gets destroyed, he can certainly enter the base. Special decides to send in a lone Hellion, build himself a standard factory, starport, barracks opening with 2 command centers and the necessary number of supply depots. Then he decides to build a third base in his inner base there, which would be considered a very safe opening from enemy army attacks. But this time Special will be squeezed with its resources there. The Viking should be used to deter Warprism aggression as much as possible. As you can see, most of the buildings, or all of the buildings by Special, are queued up on his groups. So the 0 represents the quote close to the number 1 at the top left corner. Number 8 is caps lock, and all the other ones should be fine. I'm not sure about the 3, but it's probably 3 because it's close, very very close. We see that s0s is trying to make drops into Special's base, however that just isn't working out. Then we see cloaked units coming in, and these were not spotted, not revealed quickly enough. In any case, at 6 minutes 30, the Terran is going for an interesting composition while building himself even with the Raven. The Raven is not very often used unit in competitive multiplayer games. So far, at least I have not noticed. And Special by 7 minutes still didn't have stim, was focusing more on economy, building up his 3 bases. So far he was playing a defensive 3 base opener here. And he's just building up himself a capacity to produce units. You see that third base is twice as ineffective as others when it comes to mining. Now Special has discovered that s0s is built himself a third base, and his Liberator already got attacked and destroyed before he killed 3 probes. A Special mostly relies on Marines and hopes to win this. Now s0s decides to make a push, and it's not working out that well. Not working out at all. 6 SUVs have died. And they still keep dying due to cloaked unit attacks. s0s is sending more cloaked units here, and bringing back all the SUVs to mine at the main natural base. He builds himself a few factories and moves on to the offensive.
Research complete.
Hopefully this offensive is going to work out for Special. He is building himself upgrades, something he wasn't going for the last time he played. He only had attack upgrades.
Your forces are under attack.
I personally believe that upgrades are very important. Now we see that on a depth shielded in, that gave him a look at the firepower. The Terran is normally hitting 0 resources, while the Protoss does have a good resource surplus
Field depleted.
most of the time.
Liberation is at hand.
As you can see, the Protoss mineral count is quite high most of the time.
Mineral field depleted.
The drop will take place now. However, this drop is being countered by Photon Cannon. The Marines Marauders will most likely not engage the Protoss
All hands to battle.
army. And that beast right there is going to defend against the drop. Protoss is successfully expanding further while the Terran is being squeezed into his 3 bases. Protoss has at least 5 bases, and that means that the Terran player special will start attacking, but he can't really do that while the War Prison is here dropping units inside of the base. Now the tanks are very well placed there. However, they didn't do any damage whatsoever. And the attack is coming forward. However, these blockades would make things very difficult for the Terran to advance. Special decides to go for a safe forward base and makes more drops, or saves that drop there. He's giving away free kills for the Protoss. Still continues dropping. He has many tanks. And the initial battle begins. The Marauders move very much forward. Special does have everybody together. He's suffering from an attack by s0s into his main base. It looks like Special is forced to get all of its Marauders back into the base. He's leaving his tanks behind. The tanks did not get attacked just yet. And the Zealots are being killed off. However, there still are a few Zealots in the 3rd base there. Now the tanks got sieged, and they didn't got sieged properly into the line, so they all can't shoot. But they are here. And the final battle begins. All the tanks are shooting, but they can't do much damage to all those super heavy units. And the Marauders are unable to do much damage either, and it looks like the Protoss has won another decisive victory in a quite similar composition battles here.